Hey guys, here's a video on 3 awesome computer tricks you can use to improve your productivity, whether you're a programmer or just a general power user. So, I'm sure you've been in a situation where you have to change a variable name, or in this case, the table name. So, the table name here is user, but let's say we decide to change that to user table. So now that I've changed that, I have to change all of these. Now normally you'd want to use something like a find and replace, but I'm going to show you an alternative method. If you double click any word, essentially any variable name, any table name in a text field, it's essentially going to highlight the entire word automatically, so you don't have to sit there and drag and drop the mouse. So we can use that to our advantage here. So I'm gonna highlight this, copy, and essentially I can work my way down by just double clicking and pasting. Double clicking, pasting, double clicking, pasting. Instead of, having to sit here, highlight this, make sure you don't, overdo it here. Just double click, paste, double click, paste. And this has helped me save a lot of time and, just made things less tedious than they need to be. Next up, the shift select. So I'm sure you've been in a situation where you have to highlight, maybe pages and pages worth of text. And maybe you let go of the mouse here, but you realize, oh, I had, a few characters left to highlight, or I had, a few extra lines to highlight. Well, what you could do is hold down the shift button, hold down shift, and hit the right arrow key, and that essentially expands your selection into the next character. And you can just hold it down, keep going, and even in a situation where you might over-select something, you just do the opposite. You hold shift and select left, and that essentially goes back a step. And I found this to be very useful as well. And finally, the last thing I'd like to cover are side-by-side windows. So essentially, if maybe you're a web developer and you don't have an IDE or you don't have multiple monitors, maybe you want to align your windows side by side. So, on one side you're doing maybe programming, and on the other side you have the browser. So I'm going to try and emulate that as best as possible here. So essentially the Windows key is what's going to be of use to you. So let's say this is my main window. I'm going to hold down the Windows key and hit the left arrow key on my keyboard, and that's essentially going to left align this window. And likewise, now I have this other screen here, the Google screen. Same thing, I'm going to hold down the Windows key and hit the right arrow key here, and that's going to align it to the left. And essentially now this gives you a perfect split, left and right among the two windows. So I can do my work here, I can, maybe hit refresh here, and that'll give me what I need. So I find this very useful even with multiple monitors. So, well, that's it for the video, guys. Hope you found it helpful. If so, please give it a like. If you have any other questions, please leave a comment below, and I'll be sure to address them.